Hey guys, Sean from Next Step Product Management here today to talk to you about how if you're working with a dev shop to build your product, you should hire a product manager of your own to manage your process internally. If you've never worked with a dev shop before, you may be unfamiliar with the fact that they're going to appoint you a resource, either a project manager or a product manager, to run your project throughout the development process. Now, why this isn't necessarily in your best interest is because that project manager or product manager is mainly responsible for getting your product built to spec as quickly as possible, which doesn't necessarily take into account the fact that you want your product to be very successful and you want to be able to build a successful business around your product. That doesn't necessarily mean that they don't want you to be successful, it's just not their primary objective. So hiring a product manager of your own is going to ensure that these things stay within focus. There's a couple of things I want to add to that make this somewhat of a no-brainer of a decision for you to make. Number one, it's going to be a cost-effective option for you. Dev shops typically are incorporating a specific process into the build of your product in the beginning, which they're calling something along the lines of a discovery process, because a lot of people come to them and they're not necessarily prepared for creating their product right away. This process that dev shops are employing typically can take weeks and can cost upwards of tens of thousands of dollars. So you can avoid most, if not all of that, by having a product manager of your own. Secondly, this is a win-win situation. This is going to benefit you, and it's also going to benefit the dev shop. When my clients introduce me to the dev shop they're thinking of working with, and the dev shop finds out that I have a technical background, I have a lot of experience as a product manager, they're basically over the moon. They're very excited about that. Having someone on the client's end to interpret, to manage expectations is beneficial not just for yourself, but is also beneficial for the dev shop. In addition to that, you're going to have more questions throughout this process. And as I said before, the dev shop's primary objective is to build your product as quickly as possible to spec. It's not necessarily going to be to answer your questions of and around, how do I interview customers? How do I set up a pilot phase? Setting pricing, all of these types of things that product managers should be involved with, but is not necessarily the primary objective of that dev shop. So if you can, I would highly recommend you consider and then elect to hire a product manager of your own when building your product, because it's going to be much better for you in the long run. If you want to learn more about this or my company, please feel free to reach out to me, Sean, S-E-A-N, at nextstep.io. That's nxtstep.io. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.